something you should not be embarrassed about, being a woman single in your 30s. And I'm your leader for the time being. This kind of freedom of life is only supposed to be for men. It was designed for only men to enjoy.
Because single men in their 30s are celebrated
Let
so
me
much.
tell you.
Hi guys, Murugi Munyi here.
It's Lydia KM.
And we're back again with another episode of
The Messy In Between.
It's definitely TMI. Why does your voice sound raspy-ish?
I'm fighting a flu. Actually, I've been fighting a flu since last week Wednesday.
I had it on your one of your what do you call
honey.
it? These two, what is it called?
Yes, what?
On a
Stories?
video.
On
No,
a video.
Yeah. Voiceover.
Oh my God.
I was
Let me
like,
tell you, I've
who
been
is
fighting for
that?
my life. I just been taking medicine to just kind of survive.
Dawa? Have you been drinking
Yeah,
dawas?
lemon, ginger, and honey.
Wise. Good. Okay, fine.
Yeah, so that's why. But I'm okay. I don't feel any other, like, the sickness you get with the flu.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it, but I am feeling like, some of the symptoms.
That's horrible. I'm so sorry
No, it's
for
okay.
myself in case I get sick. So it would have been nice for you to tell us in advance.
First of all, I even forgot. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I'm here. Hi,
You know,
guys.
I have 3 kids, right?
The ones who are always bringing you a cold.
Yeah, you're right,
Every
actually.
5 you. Every 2
I'm the
minutes.
one who I should be
it's
concerned.
Tana. Oh, it's Mukeni. God.
I'm the one I should be concerned about.
You are actually our biggest threat.
And
Your
I'm going
health.
on holiday tomorrow. If I
No, you won't. You didn't even let me kiss you when I came in. So
in the mouth, I know. I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry. Yeah. But anyway.
Hi guys, how are you doing? Karibuni tena to yet another episode of the Messy In Between podcast. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good and
Yeah?
energetic.
Yeah?
How are you feeling?
I feel really present.
Good.
Yeah, therapy last night, a good night's sleep, working out this morning. I've had breakfast. We've done our makeup calmly.
Yeah, it's been actually quite nice.
Yeah, it's giving
quite
first episode energy.
Exactly.
And since we're here, guys, showing up, being present, having energy, please subscribe. Whether you're watching on YouTube, any of our podcast platforms, we are literally pretty much everyone. So you know them because you listen to it
Our
as well.
podcast, yes. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Weezer, Deezer. The other one, Nini, Spotify. There's also that other one. You remember it? That's it.
That's it. All of those.
All of
wherever
them.
you want to find,
Yeah.
you will find the Messy In Between podcast, guys.
Thank
So
you.
wherever you are, please subscribe. We really appreciate it when you guys do that for us. We know you're doing it for us.
Yeah.
And also you get to get notifications, like, when you've posted. When you go on Spotify, you will see, they have a new episode. It's for you
Exactly.
too, baby. It's for you too.
Yeah.
So make sure you are subscribed.
Exactly. And also, by the way, it's not often that we recognize that we have such an international audience. Like, I feel like more than even in our individual
Definitely,
pages. Like,
yeah.
here, every single time we have like an IG live, someone is like, I'm tuning in from Germany, from Poland, from Austria, from, I don't, like the most random places. And I just think it's so fantastic. I love the fact that we have such an international community here.
love it.
We love seeing you guys in the comments, interacting with our content and stuff. Tunawapenda sana. And thank you for subscribing because we know you have already.
We know you have.
That's fantastic. Now, last week I was sharing something on my stories, which is how we came into the topic of today. I was sharing something on my stories about going into a restaurant, Brood. You've been to Brood, right? Which apparently is the German word for bread or something like that. I don't even know. Yeah. But I had gone in there and I had really wanted a salad, right? So I went, I sat, I got the menu, and I had been sitting for like a while, maybe like 4 to 5 minutes, and I had like 2 shopping bags. And then I asked for the menu. But when the menu came, I realized that because this was like a pop-up version of one of their stores, they didn't have salads. They only had sandwiches and pastries, and I didn't want a sandwich or a pastry. But for some reason, I was so anxious to like stand up and get up out of there and like leave, because I was like, first of all, I've been sat here for like 5 to 10 minutes at this point. I had like my shopping bag, so it's kind of just like, oh, were you just sitting here to just rest kind of thing, And then it was just like the guy took his time to bring me the menu, and like I've been here looking through it for like some time. Just just hold up. Yeah. So I really felt, and then, this is what even made it worse. The owner, or like whoever is like the manager, the one who just looks like the super important person checking on things, whatever, was kind of like just around the restaurant. So I just felt like, or maybe I should just order something and take home for my kids or something like that. Or should I be like, should I be like, I'm sorry, like, you, oh God. Anyway, eventually I did just stand up and leave. But when I posted about it, a lot of people were like, I had a lot of insights. I got a lot of insights. One person was like, it's definitely a people pleasing tendency because you owe no one nothing. Like, it's your
100%.
money. Someone else was like, it has something to do probably with like, is it so important to you that people know you have money? Because I was like, Lydia, stop it. I've already drawn the conclusions for myself.
Let me interrupt. That, Joe, that is a thread that you need to pull.
This is not the time. This is not the time. Some other time, yes. But definitely that one. And I did mention it to my therapist, actually. I did. Yeah. I was just like, yeah. And she's like, that's probably why even like when you have like family, you know, like people are contributing or whatever, it's really important to you that you give a good amount, and that, you know, it's like, I don't want to tell somebody, oh, I can't participate in this because I don't have the money for it, because I do
see.
No, but also money. It's like I need, if they do already see me as someone who has money, I really don't want to be seen as like a selfish person or a person who is just like, you clearly you have, like obviously you have, because we've seen you on Instagram buying 3 lotions this week alone. It's like clearly you have money. Why are you being selfish by not giving? So it's almost like I feel like I owe it to the people around me to benefit from like what I have.
I actually feel like it's a dance between those two.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, now at that point, someone, I think it was Angie Mukora, who responded and said, this is number 1 of the list of things you should not be embarrassed about. So I was like, oh, Lydia, let's do an episode on things we should not be embarrassed about, which clearly that one, walking into a restaurant and not buying anything, we shouldn't be embarrassed about that.
I wouldn't even think twice, because
in the
UK, what?
Like I noticed in the UK, like especially with those streets where the restaurants on the street, there's like a menu outside the restaurant. So people walk by, you just see, okay, do they have what I want? What are the prices? Then you move on without entering.
Even the ones that don't. Literally, when we were in Paris with Aggie, we went to a restaurant. She really wanted breakfast, like a really healthy breakfast, and for whatever reason, there's a shortage of that. So
breakfast.
It was 2 p.m. So.
I see. That makes sense. Yeah,
a bit unreasonable. But anyway, we got to a restaurant and like they had like food, proper food. It was an Italian restaurant. Then Aggie looked and we found a Starbucks. We got up, like no questions. I didn't even think twice. In the menu. Yep, we sat. We had looked in the menu. We had been offered Sijui what. We were like, we got up and left. No. Hey, no.
And then I just feel like, okay, this guy has really, like, maybe he's already seen me and he's like, wow, I'm going to get to serve this person and like they're going to leave a tip or something. But now you've disappointed him and his hopes and dreams are dashed because you couldn't just sit and order something. Like, be grateful that already you got a menu, you know.
Let me just like, maybe this is random. Are we overvaluing our...
It could be
our effect on other. Are we?
Yeah, it could be.
We could. Hopes and dreams. You are one of 1,000 he's going to see that day. He may not even remember your name. Why is?
Yeah, but could it also be?
What did your therapist say? Let's hear.
No, we didn't talk about that one.
Yeah?
You know, I told you write things. There are too many things that I'm like, I have to prioritize. Yeah. Dad, sister, whatever. We're just going in that order. If we have time for those ones, we'll discuss. Otherwise, no, sorry. What was I just about to say? Yeah, in African culture, sometimes I feel like there is some kind of like shaming around like refusing to do something. You see how we'll say like when you're driving in traffic and someone comes to your window, a hawker comes to your window and just like, no, thank you, I don't want to buy something. But they like insist, and some will even insult you for not buying something. So it's kind of like it's like as long as you have entered or you have like shown any tiny form of commitment, it's like now you owe it to them to buy. Or it's like if you go to where like Toy or Gikomba and like now you've been chaguaing and they have been showing you, Nai madam, if you buy nothing like at all, it's kind of just like, you know, I messed up the stall for you and now you didn't even buy anything.
Okay, maybe that might be. Yeah, I know. I actually see, and I don't necessarily just see it in just to you. So maybe there's like a context that I haven't exactly been ingrained into to understand like where the obligation is coming from.
Exactly.
So I can see, and also a need for politeness. It's like human. It's human. I want to be polite. I don't want to come off like I've wasted your time or anything. There is an element of that we all have, by the way. So I want to validate you.
All have.
We like most of us have that element of I want to be perceived to be polite, to be kind, to be considerate of other people. The only shift becomes when now that's more important than you being authentically yourself and you honoring your own wants and needs. Because now it's a bit of balance.
Like putting myself first. What do I need? It's my money that I'm spending.
I do not see a lick of your people pleasing in our dynamic.
Yeah, but that's different because like you're you.
But here's the thing here. I feel like you can. If you can do it with me, I feel like you can.
Yeah, I definitely can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely can. But you see, for me, it's less of like I'm still going to hold the boundary, and like I did still stand up and leave. It's just
But you're
that it
gonna
still
shake.
feels like I'm
But I'm
gonna
proud of you
shake.
that you even did it.
Thank
And guess
you.
what? It's like when it comes to boundaries and things like that,
Yeah.
it's not important that you don't feel scared.
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't
important that
matter
you-
if you feel scared.
exactly.
Even if you
Thank
go
you.
through like all of the mental turmoil of, my God, should I? Oh my God, I feel embarrassed. It doesn't matter if you're able to make that decision because you're just
Exactly.
doing something that you're not used to doing. I'm proud of
Exactly.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it makes sense that you'd have just sat your ass.
Girl, I would have sat there, I would have ordered 3 sandwiches, ate them all. Yeah, I've changed, guys.
God.
I'm a therapy babe.
No, we love it.
Thank you so much. So we asked you guys on Instagram to submit some of your responses of things we should not be embarrassed about. And I gotta be honest, some things people should be embarrassed about.
Remember, there's a time I did this same question box, and
On your page?
yeah, I did, and when I tell you, you were like, no, lady, we
I
should
was
be
like,
embarrassed.
girl, no.
Yeah, me, I'll start.
Something.
Go on.
What's that?
Okay, let me start with the one which I did, and people found it controversial, as it were. You should not be embarrassed of digging out a wedgie. Right, and I was told it's called kutoa.
Kutoa swallow.
So when we did this whole pronouncing thing, yeah. You shouldn't be. I'm so sorry. Let me tell you. Actually, let me give you an example.
Okay, so what you're saying is you shouldn't be embarrassed about putting your fingers inside your private parts in public.
That
Say
is,
yes
that's
or no.
I'm not putting my fingers inside my private part.
Because like you see when like men walk around and they have their hands in their balls and they're doing this, does that not make you
it's not
uncomfortable?
in their hands either. And also, there's nothing sexually suggestive about this
To
at
you?
all. It's not. When I'm taking out a wedgie,
How
are
do
you
you
getting
know?
a hard on?
How do you know?
Oh, shut up.
That could be a
You
fetish.
freaks out there. You freaks out there. That's on you.
Also, are you drawing the line? It's like outside my
It's
jeans.
definitely outside.
Because
It-
like
no,
now, now my jeans are kind
No.
of thick. So
Yeah,
if I got
then
inside,
I need you to suffer with do that.
you can't.
I'm sorry.
Pick and
I
choose.
can. In fact, I can. In fact, I can. So when you're digging it out, it's like if it's outside your trousers, it's fine because it's like you're not really interacting with like anything like sensitive. But let me tell you, I had a wedgie on my flight back, and you think I was going to die with that? No. No.
First of all, you wear thongs all the time, so technically you're in a perpetual wedgie.
No.
Why
I
were
don't
you
feel
uncomfortable?
It. But maybe it crunched up the wrong way or something like that. So now I can feel it. You think I'm dying with that? For whose benefit?
But Lydia, let me ask you. I feel like even if you're doing something in public that someone might find uncomfortable, there's like a way to be a bit discreet about it. Do you know what I mean? It's
I'm
like,
doing
are
that
you going
for
to
you.
turn around and be like, stop everyone, let's just pause the shoot, everyone? You see, it's like, no.
Huh?
You're gonna like kind of like do it a bit like discreetly.
Here's
So
the thing.
the
The way that you do it is completely up to you based on your level of comfort of how other people observe you. It's completely up to you. But me, out here getting chafed up my ass crack because of you lot's comfort.
Hey, whoa.
I do not think so. And let me tell you, it's something which is like I've got to fight that discomfort. It's not something I'm just like, oh, let me just do
That's
it. No,
the thing
no.
also. Is that
working
something you
through.
want to do?
It's because it's because of that conditioning that's like don't do that. I also do understand observer discomfort. When you're in public and people are observing you, how they're experiencing you also matters. So I get it. It's the way you're saying is just like, ooh. I get it. It's like, relax, Sally. You want to do it in like a way that isn't causing so much observer discomfort.
Right.
But honestly, that discomfort is not worth it.
So let me ask you something. For all of these ones of like someone should not be embarrassed about, I want us to think about it in the context of you're on stage.
Yeah.
You're on stage. Is that something you do on stage? Would you be embarrassed to do it on stage?
The more people are watching, the more embarrassed I'm going to feel. But
right. So let's take this all into that context.
What we said is what we shouldn't be embarrassed about.
We are not denying
that we are not embarrassed about it. It's like the
Right.
things that in a perfect world, we would be able to shift these things and be able to do them. I
Right.
want you to be comfortable. I want you to dig out your wedgie and be free. I want you, because I see you're straining. I see the blood is shooting up your face. Breathe, baby, breathe. I want that for you.
That one we are on the fence.
Yeah.
Me one I
You
said
are
on
on
my
the fence.
right,
Leave
and
me
the
alone.
rest of the audience, please, as we are speaking, please let us know in the comments whether you
Yeah.
agree with us or you do not agree with us. One which me I had mentioned is farting in the gym specifically.
Yeah.
Because for me, I feel like whenever you're in the gym, it's like you're doing a hard thing. Like those deadlifts I saw you doing. It's like, you have to kaza your core, kaza your ass. Like you're so tight everywhere. And sometimes it's just kind of like, It's like
I hear
everything is so tight. That one, me in the gym, is just kind of like I'm not going to. I even if someone else farts, I don't even see it as like whatever. It's just like, whoa, you're really going hard.
You're going through
You're
it.
really going hard, and it's just like good for you. You're putting in the work. You know
So
what I mean?
I may not be on the fence to this because actually I heard someone saying this. I don't know if it was a response to what I put, but anyway, they said, they were like, someone is already sweating. They already amazed your fucking body odor, and now you want to add fart.
But
You
see,
want-
not that you want to. It's just come. Like
yeah, so that you should be embarrassed because you're adding to the pollution of my air. And me, I'm out here working hard, and now I can't even breathe clean air because of
you also had. There's also air pollution you're bringing.
yeah. But now you're adding.
No, me, I'm sorry. Me, I don't judge nobody for farting.
No, me,
in
I
the
don't
gym.
judge. So the other day, actually,
Yeah.
there was this woman here. She was right next to the trainer.
Yeah.
And she was hanging up on
her
the
pull-up
bars.
fart.
And no. Not even that. It was like those swinging your legs up this way, right? Swinging up. And then when she went back, she farted so loudly in that when I was walking into the gym, I heard it. It was like, it was so loud. And then her face was just like,
Poor
mortified.
thing.
But you know, I was like, don't stare. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable.
And you see,
that
she
was
shouldn't
a hard
be. Yeah,
exercise.
that's the thing. It's like you are putting in the work and the effort to make your
That
body.
was a
You
hard
see,
exercise.
yeah,
No, I really
I'm
was
not-
like,
yeah.
the trainer didn't even move, you know.
good. Because that just it happens. But I also need us to be responsible about like what we are eating when we are going to the gym. Because you see, the fart of someone who eats unhealthy is not nice. Actually, it's not the same as like a fruits and veggies fart. Because I know a fruits and veggies fart. It's like it shouldn't be horrific. It should just be like, oh, air came out of your backside, you know, kind of thing.
Right. So if you're gonna be in the gym farting, guys, I'm gonna need you to have your what?
Yeah.
Your
but like,
veggies.
what about like just like farting in just like public? Like now, he just like
No. So like for example, I don't have an issue with farting as long as someone is at a distance. The issue of you releasing yourself is like I'm grown enough to understand you need to do that, but I need you to be at a distance. Like now where the camera is, like around that radius
But
is
me?
fine. No. No. No, I want to, like, even in my relationships, you need to be moving away.
But also, let's just say this: as long as somebody can give like a disclaimer when it's about to happen. Like sometimes we are like in bed chilling after the shoot, and one of us will be like, "Oh, I need to fart," and it's like you understand, but at least I'm prepared.
Thank you.
I don't want to
Thank
just
you.
slap me, and now I'm just like, "What?"
Yeah. And then
definitely.
now when I'm just like, "Did you fart?" Now it's a thing.
Then I'm just like, "No, I just smell that way." That's just how I smell.
No,
Yeah.
please. So
Okay.
me, I support people having to release air, but just like
Thank you.
be respectful of like how much space you are between you and the next person
Let's
who has
be
a nose.
courteous. Just courtesy. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay, things we should not be embarrassed about. We should not be embarrassed about the bad choices your partner makes.
We shouldn't, but we are.
Yeah.
We shouldn't.
I feel like it's less about the fact that he has made bad choices and more about how it reflects on you as the person who has chosen him as a partner.
There you go.
That's
That's
I
what
would
it's
say.
about. That's
Yeah.
what the shame is. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so you chose this.
Yeah, this
is what he's
that's,
doing. That's
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
That's you.
And that one, I feel like, I mean, it just goes.
It's hard to because whether you like it or not, there's a way they reflect who you are in a way that like it's really deep. And actually, funny enough, when we were talking to Rix, that's what he was saying. When you're dating, you're not dating. You're trying to be like, how can you make me look a particular way? How are you gonna make me look?
Right.
Yeah, are you gonna make me look protected, secure, like I can bag a
Elevate my
sexy one?
status,
Are
like,
you
kinda-
going to? So that it's very difficult to separate the two. But if
Yeah.
you can, good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you.
But it's tough. Yeah, that's a really
It
tough
is.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
think-
I swiped with like an earthy-esque kind of guy, and those are the kind of people who will not really care about things like that, and I admire them so
do you
much.
mean
Even Rick,
earthy-esque?
like very earthy, like Ramses from like a true Ramses from Love Is Blind. Don't watch Love Is Blind. Anyway, it's like very progressive and like more like healthy masculine and that kind of, and I just know he's the person who wouldn't care about like what people think and stuff.
Are you going on a date?
Oh no, I literally just swiped just out of interest to see what his views
Ooh,
are.
Have you started talking?
No. I just have to tell you guys. Maybe I'll keep you guys posted.
That's just so fantastic. Thank you so much. But yeah, also society, I feel like, judges us on the success of our relationships. So like sometimes it's just like anytime,
Especially
for example,
women.
especially women. Anytime that I have been trending about anything to do with my marriage or anything Zach has done or whatever, it's always like Zach. But then now me, I'm brought in the context of this is your man. By this, it's not just that it's him. Or even the other way around.
It's because it's your man.
Exactly.
If Zach was married to somebody else, it wouldn't be a conversation. But
whatever.
It is because of you, and the fact that you're the woman. And society is going to punish a woman the most about what men do.
On that cross. Ooh. Yeah. Unless you choose not to, you just be like, yeah, okay, then that person is that person. And I think your mom speaks a lot about this, about the importance of individuality in relationships. She hasn't really said it in this context, but that's the message I get. It's just kind of like, we are together, we love each other, we're married, but also you're a person and I'm a person. And that's just the way that it is.
And I think you do that really well in your relationship. Like I see two very different people living their own life very fully, very autonomously. And then there's the both of you.
I love that. Yeah. For me. I love that for me.
Okay, something we should not be embarrassed about is coming from poverty.
No, I didn't see that going in that direction.
I know, right?
Coming early?
Coming from poverty. Let me tell you this. I don't know why I see things this way, but I've always seen that some people have a lot of money and some people don't have any money. And actually, in my family setup, it's exactly like that. It's like really crazy wealth over here and like really difficult circumstances, like poverty for real. So I think I just understand that that's how the world works. And like sometimes it's like you don't even know why it works that way. And especially where you're from. I guess sometimes it's like when you get to a certain age and you're not successful, there's a shame that feels like I did not put in enough effort. Like the part where I was supposed to do, I didn't do enough to excel or whatever. I can see that because that feels like it's somehow within your hands. But you are born to poor parents.
And there's nothing more to it. It's just
that's
literally
it. That had nothing to do with you. You came into this world the same way somebody came into this world and they were born a billionaire. And there's an unfairness to that. Like, God, why wasn't it me who was I don't know, Oprah's daughter or Bill Gates' son? Why was I the one who like had to come into a family where I really have to struggle financially? And it's like, and because there's shame in poverty, then naturally there's shame in coming from poverty. But I really want us to get past that, because what ends up happening is like, for example, actually, this is something that happened. From my sides of the family, there's this side of the family and then there's this side of the family. And I went to my shows now, this side of the family, and we are
the good side or the rich side.
What's this?
Oh,
right, this side of the family. And it's obviously because this is something I'm talking about other people. I'm trying to kind of word it in like in a way that has integrity. But anyway, I had taken I had gone to both places. So then I took content like normally from both places, and someone messaged me and they was just like, why does this show look like she lives such a bad and poor life, and this other show looks like she's really rich? Sister, I don't know what to tell you. First of all, it's just like a poor life is not a bad life. It's what you assume to be a bad life. Number one. Some people...
No, we're not ready for that conversation.
It's true. Some people have very wealthy lives and they're not great lives. I can attest, I can tell you, because I see... Though it's not always about the people who don't have money are the ones who have misery. It's not always the case. And I know all the things that come with poverty. There's a lot of trauma that comes with poverty. But literally, I told that woman, it's like, it's your perception of poverty that's making you see that this show is living a really terrible life, and then this one is living such a fantastic life. Like it's...
Yeah. I feel like I love that understanding of yours, and it's something that I aspire to. I definitely also still struggle with the when somebody is past a certain age, it just feels like you're able. Now it's no longer about where you've come from. I definitely don't think people should feel shame about coming from a poor background.
But
actually,
they do.
Exactly.
And people hide.
Which is, to me,
People
actually,
hide
me, I'm always like,
families.
the things about us, a lot of people even submitted things about like, oh, you shouldn't be ashamed of like you shouldn't be ashamed of your height or your, I don't know, a big forehead. For me, anything which it's like was beyond your control, God made you like that. Like you were born that way. That's not something you could have done anything about. Like someone having big feet, that my feet are size 8. It's just kind of like, to me, it's like that the God made it like that. And again, the world is unfair. One person was born with a perfect size 8 body, another person was born super huge, another person was born super short, someone else was born super tall. It's just like now start to do, because it's just like the unfairness of the world, or the fairness, I would say, because I guess it was all evenly distributed and people just got what they got. I feel like those are not things we can be embarrassed about.
Yeah.
But definitely around poverty, it can be so difficult to
It is.
merge those two understandings, especially now for you. I can't even imagine what that's like, of just like there's such a discrepancy, I would say, between the two sides. And now it's just kind of like, yeah,
Huge. Actually, like it's uncomfortable
Yeah.
to step into those worlds so much and so often, because it's like you hear what these people are discussing about what they're going to spend their money on, and then you hear what's needed here, and you're just like, it's really extreme. And like these are like generations before me. Like this is not anything I personally can do or control.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get what comes with it. And because of people's perception as well, I know that sometimes I'm more delicate around
how
the
you-
content I'm posting from
Yeah.
this side, because of how other people are. But honestly, I don't feel that way. And I don't treat those two families based on what's happening with them from that perspective. Where I'm close is where I'm close, and where I'm not. I would love you to be able to, like, if you can anyway, to be able to see that a lot of times, number one, poverty is generational. So it's like there are decisions that were made way before you that now are here to affect you. Yes, can you be like super successful and coming from a poor background? Yes, but it's harder for you. And that's actually the exception to the rule. That's why you know that story. But the rule is most people who are born in poverty die in poverty. So in situations where it's like, I understand it's like there's an unfairness affecting your life every day, I get it. But I would love to live a world where it's just like you don't feel shame about where you're from because of what is happening financially, because a lot of those things have nothing to do with you.
So true. So
Yeah.
true. God, I don't even think I can say anything more beyond that.
Yeah.
Girl, but yeah, that's actually a sad reality. I feel like it just requires a certain level of acceptance that maybe many of us are also uncomfortable with in our own lives. That
Yeah.
it's just kind of like if you have money, there's a guilt around that, because even they're accepting that, okay, there are those around you who you love who may not ever have the amount of money that you have.
Yeah.
And that's just the way life is. And even accepting that perhaps you will never be as wealthy as that other cousin. But you know what? That's just the way life is.
Yeah. It's a dance, but I think I've tried so hard to see things from the perspective of like, yeah, sometimes things are like that.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned in a previous episode about just like accepting that people have also different standards of living. Not everybody is here. Not everybody's taking their kids to this school or whatever. Not everyone is going shopping here. But maybe just like you've said, it's not necessarily that some people are poorer. It means they're living a less quality of life.
Yeah.
They could be way happier than you with your money.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all the ones that people said about like things physically, like big feet. Someone mentioned about big feet, about big forehead. Someone said about just
nose.
big nose. Exactly. Yeah, it's just kind of like,
No, me too.
yeah, you kind of just
If
need
it's
to accept.
on me and God made it that way, I'm not
Yeah.
trying. God made no mistakes. He
Yes.
did it that way. I know it might not be the beauty standard, but yeah.
I completely agree. We should stop being embarrassed about buying pads in supermarkets and carrying pads around or carrying around tampons.
I feel like
Everyone
that's like a
said that.
2000
Yeah.
problem.
That's
This is
it.
not 2024.
Yes. A lot
problem.
of people mention things to do with periods. Someone else said it's like if you soil your clothes, is that something to be embarrassed about?
Why have you soiled your clothes as an adult?
Yeah, like you didn't. No, as in all periods, your periods.
Ah, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
for your periods, it's like, oops, it happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then-
no shame there at all. No, none at all.
But there's a difference to me about like a difference between being embarrassed about it versus, oh, okay, that has happened, but of course you're going to try and clean
We're
up.
gonna sit
we're not
in it.
There was that campaign which happened some other time of where people had like a lot of like blood around this
Yeah.
area kind of thing, and it was like there's even a page that I saw on Instagram where this lady believes in free bleeding. So like around her period, she doesn't believe in tampons or pads or whatever because she feels like that's just like the patriarchy trying to control us. So she just free bleeds. Doesn't even wear like period under or
But
whatever.
isn't
She's just
that
free.
uncomfortable for you? I feel
Yeah.
like it's so
I feel like it would be
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable for me. Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be uncomfortable.
I
But
for
yeah,
her, the
she was
patriarchy,
happy.
baby. Oh my God, I
We
get it.
get
We are
it,
fighting
sweetie.
it.
Yeah.
But sister, that would be
No.
so uncomfortable. So you're walking
Yeah.
around and blood is like
yeah,
dripping
just like
all over
dripping.
you.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That it's just like pee. That I'm not doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just uncomfortable. Okay, let's free piss then.
You.
Why not?
Yeah, you're right.
Why not?
The smell.
I mean,
it's more the
whatever is
smell.
excreting out of our bodies, apparently we are not supposed to contain. Why not shit? Go on and
Free
go ahead and
shit.
shit yourself as well.
You're right.
Yeah, and it is the same. Like
Yeah,
the blood there
actually.
is like it doesn't need to go anywhere except
It's
for
just yeah.
no, I'm sorry, I draw
No,
the
but
line.
fight the patriarchy. She said, "Fight the patriarchy."
You fight
She's
it.
not using,
You fight
you
it.
fight
And
for
we
us,
are right
for us.
behind you. But me and my cup,
Me
we
and
go
my
like
tampons,
this.
we are close. We are close. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. But carrying pads, carrying tampons, that's
Yeah,
definitely
and
not
also
something
in
we're
the
embarrassed
supermarket
about.
when they try to fold my whatever,
No,
my
just put it.
ninis in like newspaper, my
Yeah.
pads. No,
Thank you.
it starts there. It starts there. Like, who
Yeah.
are we hiding? Whoever you live with knows you're a woman and you go on your periods.
Thank you. Literally all women get their period, so
Yeah.
Thank you. We can get over that.
All right, I have another one. Something you should not be embarrassed about: being a woman single in your 30s. And I'm your leader for the time being. For the time being, there's a time where you're going to be, because you've been taught and you've been conditioned around it. Like, this is literally Mr. Patriarchy comes in again. That's what you're supposed to feel. Shame. You are supposed to feel shame. You're supposed to feel small. You're supposed to feel worthless. Everything around us works towards making you feel that way. So you shouldn't even be feeling embarrassed about it. No. But if you sit in it and you go to therapy, there's the other side, and you realize why they don't want you to be in this situation, because this kind of freedom of life is only supposed to be for men. It was designed for only men to enjoy.
Because single men in their 30s are celebrated
Let
so
me
much.
tell you, it's only supposed to be for men. So because of that,
So right.
it's like the best thing in the history of the world. But you need to get past the hurdle of like your mindset. I watched a TikTok which basically said that it's so sad for us to categorize any time of our life as waiting. Waiting for marriage, waiting for kids, waiting for anything in your life to begin. I get these transitional periods, I understand that. But categorizing something which is like
A whole season,
and you don't even know when it's going to come to an end, what ends up happening is that the value of that season is completely lost on you. And my therapist had a really strong talking to me, because it's been like, I was about a year of me like over idolizing marriage and children. But she's married and she has kids, so she knows the reality. And she's been trying to kind of let me get to it. But then this one session, she was just like, Lydia.
Was it this one?
No. It was like ages ago, like maybe
Okay,
like 4 or so months ago. And she was trying to get me to see how I'm idolizing something I have no idea about and missing the joy of what it's here. And after that session, I was just like, what is it I can do in my life right now that maybe I won't be able to do as much when I'm married with kids? One of the things is traveling and really just embracing my freedom of my time. And that's all I've been focused on doing. And I feel embarrassed that I was ever categorizing this beauty of my life right now as like a waiting period, like something is missing, like there's some part of me that is kind of not there. When you sit in it and you start to enjoy the freedoms that you have right now in this your season, and now this is assuming like maybe you're comfortable financially, because that adds to a lot of things. It's a joy that I can't explain. I would want all women to enjoy it. Yeah. I would. No, I don't curse you. I don't curse you on that. But this sense of freedom where it's just like, I'm old enough to know who I am. I have enough money to do the things that I want to do without having so many responsibilities. That's why men get married at 40. That's why they're waiting for so long, because it's so sweet. So if you're in that situation, you don't need to be embarrassed. You need to go to therapy to work through some of those things that are in there, but no more for me anyway. I'm done.
I love that concept of like not waiting for anything. I feel like that can be extrapolated to any season where someone feels like they want to take the next step, but they're not able to take the next step themselves, because you can't marry yourself, you can't have children. Well, you can have children yourself, but it's like you want to be in a relationship and whatever. For some people, it could be that you are married and you have a child and you're desperately wanting to have a second child, but it's not happening. So you keep feeling like, I'm in the waiting season for me to have the second child, but actually in the meantime there's this first child who you're not even focusing on because you're so busy trying for that second child. It could be waiting for a job,
a child.
exactly, even a child, exactly. So you're not being able to like enjoy your marriage or whatever. I feel like definitely in whatever season you're in, if you're always just looking forward to the next season, you will never see the joy of the season you're in right now.
I do want to emphasize that I do empathize with like some waiting periods are just so severe that they take over. Like, especially when I see women who are waiting to have kids,
children,
like they've had the guy, they've got everything kind of put down, and then they're not able to conceive. There are some that are so severe that it feels like your world revolves around it. But if you can, in the ones where you're able to like kind of take your power back and like enjoy the time that you have, and just like, just trust that it's gonna be okay, really do it. Really, really do it.
Also, calling something a waiting season, it's like it's a presumption that you will eventually get the next step, which might not. You might not have the children.
If you
might
don't
not
ever get married and have kids, how do you want your life to look like? Do you want it to be like full of misery and wondering like when it's going to come or what's going to happen to you? Or do you want to have a gorgeous life where when you look, it'll be like, damn, I'm having such a good time? It's completely up to you.
Exactly.
And when you decide that, things start falling into place to kind of create more color in your life, because maybe my life has always been fantastic and the whole waiting thing was just in my head, but now I see so much more beauty because that's what I'm looking for, as opposed to looking for what's missing. Again, it's not something you can substitute for the desire for commitment and the desire for all of, you can have them, but it can't be like you're idolizing something that you don't have.
That's it. Because first of all, you've never even experienced it. How do you even know you're gonna like? As your
That's what
therapist
she
said,
how do you know you're gonna like yourself as a mother?
Yeah.
How do you know
How
that
do you even
whole
know you're
thing?
going to like your kids?
How do you know? How do you know your kids are going to be like what you think that they're going to be? How do you know the family dynamic is going to sit well with you the way your family does? Because I had told her that the reason why I want to have kids, one of the reasons is like, I love my family setup. She's like, who told you you're gonna have the same one?
Yeah, definitely, girl. Yeah, I know.
So anyway, when it comes, we'll love
the
it.
chances of you having the same family setup is not that high.
Yeah.
Because there are so many different ways that families can look, and it's only when you start yours that you actually see. In fact, sometimes it's like you idolize. I remember one of the things that I feel like I idolized is what the relationship with my in-laws was going to look like, and I think Zach did the same with me, like with like the woman he was going to marry. He always imagined having like an amazing, super close relationship with his father-in-law, which is not the case because it just hasn't worked out that way. And you see now, if that was the thing that he was really focusing on, there could be such a disillusionment of the after, because now you're just like, no, this is not the one that
and you think you are
God
happy,
wrong,
but it's like your fantasy is like it didn't exist, it wasn't real,
exactly, but sometimes maybe it actually does turn out the way that you wanted it to.
And that's
so for
amazing.
you, I hope that that's what happens.
But now I'm actually more accepting, like I want a great family, let's just go with it, let's just go and see what happens.
Roll with it. Absolutely. A lot of people had said that about like being single, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. So, and yes, we definitely accept that one. We should not be embarrassed about saying we can't afford X, Y, and Z, and that it is out of our budget. I 100% agree. I feel like, definitely we've talked about it. Absolutely. We are not dying on the hill of people are taking loans. Actually, because now we've formed a group. Actually, guys, we're all going to Malindi next week. I hope everyone is like, ready. Everyone has the funds.
No.
You can just say, no, guys, I'm sorry, I can't afford that right now.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you don't enjoy it when you're stressed financially. You're not having a good time. I see
you're not having fun.
I see you stressed when the bill comes. You don't need to do that.
It's just it's not worth it. I feel like past a certain age, no. You?
Something else you should not be embarrassed about is getting played, going through a heartbreak, a relationship ending. And there's this saying that is consistently shared, and I feel like what it ends up doing is like victim blaming. So the saying is, the woman's self-esteem based on who she's dating. First of all, it's not just the woman, and I don't know why it's always emphasized on the woman. It's everyone. We date on the level of our self-esteem, period. So what ends up happening is that the actions of your partners are so attached to apparently who you are as a person, it ends up being like it's your fault. I was shamed so much when I was going through my breakup. I mean, constant shame. And funny enough, despite people not knowing exactly what happened, apparently it was my fault. It was me somehow. Right? And this is exactly what happens consistently in society. It's the woman who takes the L for some random reason. And so when you break up, one of the things that a woman's gonna feel the most is shame. Because shame is like I haven't done what society expects of me.
You've been unable to keep your relationship together.
It's right? It's not like, oh my God, I'm here into safety because this person was a terrible person. It's never, there are no reasons. Or like when people are a single mom, nobody asks how it got here. Maybe there was a abused and she left and this was the best thing that she could do. Nobody cares about how the process came to be. It's only at the end. And the reason why that's terrible is because you carry all of the shame of the ending of your relationship and the man isn't. He just goes into another relationship and it's just like there's no shame. You are carrying it to this one, to the next one, to the next one. By the time you're even trying to figure your shit out, you are just wrapped up in this this need to prove I'm lovable. No, I can make it work. I can prove to society that I'm a lovable woman. No,
let's relax.
Let it go. And funny enough for me, I've loved people who crossed me, who disrespected me, who used me, who cheated on me. That happened. And the lessons that I needed to learn from that, I hadn't learned yet. Tutadu.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my process. And all this stuff, I've been able to kind of break out of my system the last couple of years being single. It's like, I didn't know. The things I've been through make me see things in a different way than other people. Maybe I don't walk into relationships with the same confidence as you do. Maybe I'm not able to see red flags in the same way that you do. Maybe I put people on pedestals and then I end up being disappointed. Maybe I'm looking for love in all the wrong places. All of these things are true, but they're true in my experiences in ways that I'm not actually in control of. What I'm in control of is my healing. That's it. Yeah, so that narrative that comes when people go through a breakup or, that shaming is just unnecessary.
Yeah.
And me, I'm not embarrassed. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And I don't know, it kind of feels like with relationships ending, it's like relationships end all the time.
Yeah.
Literally, as often as relationships are starting, relationships are ending.
Yeah.
So I never understand why there's even shame about it. I feel like maybe with yours, and I didn't even know that people shamed you for the breakup.
my
I
God.
know it was like more around the workshop and like what, and you monetizing the breakup.
That one I felt nothing about it.
Of course, they definitely always want the man to make money, but you try to make money, and it's just kind of like, what? How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you make money from this? But yeah, I didn't even know that people are shaming you. But also people's perception of what the relationship looked like to them then leads them to now be like, oh, then this must have been the reason.
Exactly.
Knowing her and the way she talks, this must be the one. This must be it. Yeah, and it's just so.
But my therapist told me that some people project that sense of knowledge in what happened in other people's lives because they hope that it makes them feel like this sense of power over knowing what's happening in theirs.
And so therefore then you can't see, because I'm not like Lydia, then that's not going to happen to me.
That's not going to happen to me.
And me, I know
but
what
the
to
truth
do
is,
and how
like,
to be.
I don't know. If you know what's happening in my relationship so much, why didn't you know when he was cheating? Why didn't you know when he was using you? Why didn't you? Because you can't in yours.
Yeah,
and that kind
problem.
of projection of what you think happened or why things fell apart is just a way to make you a superiority feeling that it's like, oh, I knew.
Exactly. No, you didn't know anything. Definitely. Everyone who said people shouldn't be embarrassed about a relationship failing because it's not you who made it fail. Relationships fail all the time.
And it just
marriages end, exactly. Or leaving an abusive relationship, leaving a toxic relationship and whatnot. Absolutely no shame around that.
No.
Absolutely none.
But it takes time. Like if you're in the shame, in anything of the things that we are saying, it takes time to debunk that. So then don't double up on the shame by feeling shame for feeling shame.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I mean, I feel like with some of these things, it's like sometimes we are embarrassed based off of what people are telling us, like, Lydia, you couldn't do this. But sometimes it's just like it's like you are just feeling the shame, which no one else, perhaps everyone is even applauding you and saying, we are so glad you left, we are so glad. But you, because maybe your marker
you've also
of
been
like
conditioned
success
that
has been
way too.
conditioned. Exactly. So even if people are not saying to you, you just start feeling like, oh, if I had been able to stay in the relationship, I know that people would be more proud of me. Not necessarily. Yeah. And so
or even how you feel about yourself, because your relationship is like your self-esteem is tied in that a lot. So then it's failure as well. It's really hard for it to not reflect as a failure to you too. You as a person.
Yes.
God, it's been a fantastic 2 years. Not fantastic like in all moments have been great. It's like fantastic like, wow, I can't believe this is me. And 2 years ago, where I was like in the thick of it, like just... Oh my God.
Yeah. Do you feel like you'd have accomplished as much as you've accomplished now if you had been in a relationship?
It would have been a different relationship. Yeah. So a different relationship. But that same relationship, I don't think so.
Yeah,
only because I feel like there's so many ways I was kind of... I don't think it was authentic for either of us. Right? Or it didn't feel that way. Now when I look back, it just felt like... Yeah, like what I tend to feel is like some of the exes who we've broken up, and it's like today if we go back together, our lives would make sense. Those ones are the ones who I feel like we were like kind of authentically aligned. Maybe things happened, but the ones where it's just like where would we start?
Who were you?
What would we start? Who were we together even? So like, yeah, those ones are the ones I feel like actually the end was like the best thing for everyone.
I'm glad. I'm happy about that. Okay, yours have been really deep and intense. Could you please just read some of the ones that I
said
sent
about the
you,
wedgie?
please? Yes?
I said about the wedgie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. Just go and read some of the ones that people have said, please. Okay, someone is saying we shouldn't be embarrassed about the foul smell that comes when you have bacterial vaginosis.
No, it's okay. We can be embarrassed about that. It's okay. It's like it's a sickness. It's not something that's part of you. Like if you can delete it, you can.
Exactly.
Also, BO stinks of shit, and it's okay to feel embarrassed about it.
And
but it's not part of you.
Exactly. That smell of like having a vaginal infection. It's not nice. It's not nice. Actually, that one, if you can take a day off so that you don't have to be outside or like be around people, I feel like it's okay. Yeah.
Let me tell you, there's a time. Me and a boyfriend of mine ages ago, we had dropped someone home, right? And clearly that's what they were going through. So they had sat behind him.
Don't tell me anything about...
They had sat behind him. And now to cross over, to get out of the door, they had to cross over to my side and get out of this side door, right?
Behind you, yeah?
Yes, behind me. So see, they had to open their legs. And clearly that's what they were going through. I have never... See, this was like 16 boyfriends ago, and I still remember. It was the worst smell I have ever smelled coming from a human who's not dead. No.
But you see, in such cases, it's not like you obviously you didn't tell her,
shame you. No.
It's
never okay to shame someone.
But me, I feel like in that context, I would even ask, like, babe, are you okay? I smelled something.
No. They were getting out, and I was just like, thank you, Jesus.
But if it's a friend, if it's like me, you'd ask me, right?
If the next day I smelt it too, I would ask. I would give you a chance.
So on day one, you would let me go? No. So you just trust that I have it under control? No, that's bad.
Do. First of all, because maybe trust that you
okay,
have
fine.
With
control. Me, you can because like my dad is a guy now, and I go to the guy all the time. But I feel like with someone else, if it's someone who's a close friend, I would be like, I would just ask. Are you aware?
No, I would give her a second because I was like, maybe it's a long day. Maybe like this is how you smell when it's been a long day. Then I see.
But infection smell is usually so bad. Let's be a bit embarrassed about that one, just like a little bit.
Having kids before marriage, I don't think you should be embarrassed about that, but I don't think we should glorify it either.
That's the thing. I don't think we should glorify it. I don't think we should necessarily normalize it because I feel like right now it's less of like I'm empowered and I've decided that this is the time I want to have children. It's more of like circumstantial, and that's what's problematic.
Right? Okay. If it's like the desire that you had for you, it's like whatever. Many people do it, but if it's like oh shit. Oops. No,
definitely no. Let's not do that. After lunch, kuwa na skuma kwa meno or beans. Like I'm just from lunch. I like just having skuma wiki here.
I mean, it's not a big deal, but again, don't say in it. Like these ones that you're trying to fight for. What are we fighting for, guys? We shouldn't be embarrassed of being in love. Who's embarrassed? Right. It's like that fear of like the second you say my man, here goes. You've seen all of those things. And of course, who's getting shamed for being in love? Women. Who's doing the shaming? Women. All those reels of like the second a man you start saying my man, here comes he's about to.
Women, yeah.
You're shaming other women for doing something as simple as being confident in their relationship.
Yeah, but you know what? For sure, it leads to the end of a relationship. If you have a video with your man and you put hashtag relationship goals, that one is going.
That's to end. Crazy though.
Yeah. I feel like you're using your chest. You're saying your relationship goals.
That's insane.
No, I don't think so. Need Jesus we can accept because need Jesus. But relationship goals? I don't know, girl. I don't know. Your bra being seen when wearing a sleeveless top.
Sleeveless.
So sleeveless. So it's like this, and then you have the bra.
No.
I feel like that it's more of like, it's not really embarrassing, but it's just kind of like if the aesthetic you are going for is sleeveless, why have the sleeve of the bra? Right. So it's like just wear a top with a sleeve. Yeah. No. But I don't think it's embarrassing though when I see someone's bra showing.
It's just like you're not a fashion girl.
That's it. That's or a panty line. I'm not dying on the heel of panty line kind of thing. Just like whatever kind of thing. Yeah.
No. We should not be embarrassed to ask what are we? Oh my God, no. Like, don't be embarrassed about it. But I feel like there's ways to kind of know what you are. Like, I'm happy to... I don't even think I'm going to ask anybody, what are we?
I was just about to say that.
I'm not going to ask you. It's like I'm going to present what I want. Yeah. And just by just by your response, I know what we are.
Or even probably the point you're asking, what are we? You can tell that you're not where you wanted to be. So you just be like, babe, lately it's been feeling, it's just kind of like we seem to be in some kind of like dance, and it didn't feel like there's any commitment either of us have made.
Yeah.
I would really love if we could have a conversation about, what are our next steps.
Oh my God,
like
yeah.
that.
No. Anyway, in your 30s, honey.
Yeah. Also
ain't
saying
nothing.
what are we is like putting it in his hands for
Yeah,
him
like
to
to
determine
him
for
to
you.
decide. No.
Same. Okay. Being child free, definitely. I don't think anyone should be embarrassed. I mean, right now, I feel like
I envy them. I'm not gonna lie, because if I did not have the thing that makes me want to have kids, I wouldn't do it. I would not do it. I'm sorry. Now that I see the reality of motherhood, it is the most committing thing a human being is ever going to do. Literally, there's nothing else. And I think now I get it. Like that conversation, honestly, we had with my therapist changed everything for me. She was like, "You've seen your life. Like, tell me what you did today." Then she's like, "Add 2 kids." Add 2 kids. What would you have done today? Like, and it just,
add 3.
Now add 3. Now when I picture things, it doesn't feel like just, it's not for Instagram. Do you want a family, or do you want a family for Instagram? Do you want a family for the Christmas picture, or do you want a family the day in, day out? Think. No. Think. Now when you think about just like the happy moments of like, oh my God, this is those are great, but that's what idealizing something is, only seeing it from the view of it's like perfect moments. Yeah, the other realities, me, when I see women who are child free with money.
Yeah, but I can't even imagine what
all your life you've been a mom, like majority of your life.
That's it.
So like you don't know any different.
I feel
I think that's a good thing.
I guess it's a good thing,
As
because now I
opposed
don't
to
have thank God. If I had money, no. I definitely
this
don't think
and
so.
then
Yeah. There's definitely, I feel like there's a balance with children that it's like every single day you're reminded about it, because there's a richness to life that I just absolutely cannot imagine being able to have that without my children. But there's also a very humbling, very like, whoa, this
Life
is like
is a
life is a lot kind of thing. And there's like I think God just does it that way, so it's like it's perfectly balanced in that way, like you're having birth. You have this amazing blessing, but also what the fuck, and it's like all together all the time. And some days it's more this way, it's just like, wow, being a mom is great. Other days it's just like, what is going on? And then also the thing with like foreseeing yourself becoming a mom, you never imagine you're going to have a disabled child. You don't imagine you're going to have a special needs child.
How do you
don't
know?
imagine you don't imagine that maybe the time you have kids you lose your ability to earn, or like there's just so many things that can happen around children, even just around our lives. Forget even children, even just around our lives. But
and let me tell you, the thing with when you have children, that sense of fulfillment is only when you have them. So you don't feel like you're missing anything. You don't know. I don't know what that fulfilling thing. I feel like I'm as fulfilled as I can be.
And you see, I don't know what it's like to be like, 30 and a free and whatever.
Know.
You just don't know.
So you can, like the people who decide not to have kids, it's like, maybe you're missing out, maybe you're not.
That's it. And see, that's the whole concept of the grass is greener on the other side. No, the grass is greener where you water it, and you just have to water where you are, because now we are here.
It's true. My therapist said that when the grass is greener, nobody asks questions. So that means you're not asking, what time did Morigi wake up to be able to take care of these kids? What time do they go to school? How much does she spend this month taking care of them? Like, how is
motherhood?
How
is
it
so easy?
Exactly.
Motherhood looks so seamless. Motherhood is just so
exactly. You don't ask the questions, and those are the questions you need to ask before you jump ship from your own grass to that one. Absolutely. Because you get there, it's fake.
Yeah. Well, and on to the next one. Saggy, droopy tits. Definitely. I feel like I don't even think twice or blink twice when somebody's tits are like, they could be facing up, they could be facing down. I literally don't even think about it, guys. Like, I don't. You know what? I actually was thinking about all these things that people are saying we shouldn't be embarrassed about, because someone else said like, when you're like, for example, you're a breastfeeding mom and you leak, let's say in a meeting, and like you leak through whatever, how we as women, or like even as people, react to things happening is what determines whether or not, if like something happens, you're just like, oh, thank you for letting me know, let me just clean up. If you're like, oh my God, oh my God, I'm so sorry
Yeah.
that one already now. Everyone, even if someone was
Everyone
not
feels like
embarrassed.
they've watched something they shouldn't have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if I was not feeling embarrassed for you, even if I was not thinking that, now I'm embarrassed because I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I've had to experience the secondhand embarrassment of what you've gone
That's
through.
the thing. I didn't know it was embarrassing, but now I'm embarrassed because apparently it's an embarrassing thing.
That's the
You're
thing.
right.
When now people start saying sorry for something, it's like, why are you sorry? Like, what are you sorry about? There's nothing you could have done in this situation,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like falling. Someone said something about like when someone is walking and they fall. It's just kind of
I
like,
know that's embarrassing, and that's okay. It's embarrassing.
yeah, but
It's funny
like,
as fuck. We're gonna laugh, point and laugh, and it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
No,
It's
Lydia,
okay.
it's not.
Once I check you're okay, you're done. I belong to the streets with that one.
Me, there's
I
certain
will
kind of
laugh.
falling,
No,
which is
if
like,
someone
it's,
falls, I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh, you're good.
no, she's lying. Lydia
No,
is the
dead ass. I
sweetest.
did that to my
She'd-
friend. Yeah. She fell. I was
What
like, oh
a
my God, are you
bitch.
okay? No,
What
no.
a
She was okay and I couldn't help it. Guys, it's one of those things that makes me laugh so much. It's like you're an adult, full functioning, and you are walking and now you're on the ground. That's funny.
Is it
That's
funny?
so funny.
I could have lost my life.
But you didn't, and you're here. Now it's funny. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much. Now I know who not to fall around. It's
Yeah.
good
Oh,
to
definitely. Don't
ask
fall
your
around
friends.
me.
How would you
But
react if I
if
fell?
you're hurt, I would.
Yeah,
fight.
emotionally I'm hurt because you're laughing. If you're hurt, right?
We should not be embarrassed about having anxiety disorder. We should not be embarrassed about having any
kind of
mental
mental
health
health
disorder at
yes,
all.
exactly.
In fact, I think it's courageous to be able to spot or to figure out or whatever, however it came to be, and go and get help.
Yeah.
That is so courageous and so brave and so wonderful. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. To know that you've got an illness and you're doing what you're doing to take care of yourself. Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Also, I feel like in our current climate, I feel like mental health is kind of like, not really, has already been demystified or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like the conversation around it is becoming a lot more normalized, such that you hear the word depression or suicide, people are not like, oh, we can't talk about
Yeah.
that. It's kind of like people are talking about these things, people are having conversations and like meaningful engagement around them. So yeah, definitely no embarrassment there.
And no illness either. I know that my shush. Are we still in breast cancer month?
Yeah, we are. It's
No. Well,
yeah,
right
we
now
are.
we still are.
Yeah.
And my shosho like had some symptoms of breast cancer a year after I was born, and she didn't feel the shame to go to a doctor, a male doctor at that, and be like, hey, something is happening with my boob, please like fix it. Turns out it was cancer. She got a mastectomy. Is that when it's one?
This single mastectomy and then double mastectomy.
Right. So now she's been in remission forever since like literally my whole life. Like every year I get older, I'm just like another year. And without if my shosho had felt embarrassment, because there's a friend of hers who felt embarrassment, and literally like the symptoms just got so crazy, like it got to like stage 4 and she passed away. Embarrassment is actually something that can cost you your life.
Oh my God.
It can cost you your life. I know.
That's where we should have started this episode.
Right?
Yeah. Embarrassment can cost you your life.
Embarrassment can cost you your life. So those things that you think are just like, oh my God, you're just trying to hide, they can have really severe consequences. They can stop you from getting better. They can stop you from getting the help that you need. And every day I thank God that my social team she was just like, what am I feeling shame about? Like, it's just, I don't know what
it's
it
just
is.
a part of your body, like a knee.
Exactly. Let me go. So please, let's not take embarrassment to that degree. Yeah.
Someone said we should not be embarrassed about being unemployed and not being able to like post. She said that she sees a lot of people, she's a HR person, and she's like, she sees a lot of people who are unemployed but are too embarrassed to tell their network, so the people around them, hey, by the way, I'm looking for a job.
Being embarrassed can stop you from getting your
stop you
bag.
from even having money. Like literally, she's like, people, you will even have a huge platform, but you don't want to post and be like, guys, by the way, I'm looking for work, or I want to do X and Y and Z. Even you saying, oh, guys, I'm open for MC gigs. Hire me. You know, 'cause like,
we are, by the way.
There's nothing embarrassing about needing money. Everyone needs money. We are all
money.
Literally, we are all out here trying to chase a bag. So there's nothing embarrassing about saying, guys, plug me. Do you know anyone who's looking for mom? I don't know.
Looking for a mom.
Yeah, it's like mom. Is that like a job? So that's a job. You said mothering is a job.
Shut up. Are you being serious?
No, I'm not being serious.
I was like, what? There's I feel like almost everything good in my life has come because I'm a chatterbox, because I'm a yapper, because I'm going to go and Joe be like, oh my God, Joe, I'm really struggling with this. What do you think? She's like,
By the
oh my
way,
God, I have 17 contacts.
Exactly.
You never
Not
know.
17.
17 is always 17 contacts. Like, you never know where the answer to your question is because you're not asking it.
That's it.
I get how people look at you. It's just like, oh wow, employment, broke, etc. But they'll look at you like that for a second, and then because you opened your mouth, you have a job.
Thank you. There you
Spast.
are. Exactly. And if you had just kept quiet, you would not have gotten anything.
Yeah.
We should not be embarrassed about starting over, regardless of age.
Definitely. In fact, there's like a beauty in starting over. Like,
There
by the way,
is.
it's a luxury.
Yeah.
There's people who are never going to be able to start over because the circumstances of their life have kind of glued them where they are. So I can literally leave a relationship, move out, go live somewhere else, start a new.
Yeah, that literally,
Yeah.
I think it's
It's a
definitely
freedom.
a luxury. There are some things my mom always used to tell us about how, like, when you start off in life, you have like this number of choices. And then there are certain choices you'll make which will kind of like make the number of choices then you have left smaller, less and less and less. For example, if now I have 3 kids, I can't wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I want to live child-free. Now I want to be child-free because where am I taking the kids? I already have them. I'm already a mom. Even if I decide to move to another country without them, I'm still a mom. Like, that just doesn't change. I'm
true.
where I am, you know, kind
Yeah.
of thing. But it's like starting over. The concept of starting over, I think, is really, really phenomenal, especially if like you're in a situation where it's just like you feel empowered of like, actually, I don't like this job. And actually, I can quit and I have savings and I can try and do something else. I think that's really, really fantastic.
I think so.
I think
I
it's
think it's a
admirable.
freedom.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely think it's admirable.
It is.
No
Yeah.
one should be embarrassed about that.
Your mom should have a podcast. Literally, she's a wise woman. Everything you say that your mom has ever said, I hold on to. I hold on to everything she says. I remember them all.
True, yeah.
She's so smart. She should have
Actually,
a podcast.
I'll tell her. Beryl, will you guys record my mom's podcast for free?
Ooh.
You've already nodded. Too late. You have committed. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Our faith. Someone says we shouldn't be embarrassed about our faith. I don't.
Yeah, some people
really?
get judgy. I feel like there is a bit of your wet blanket. People look at people who are like very like committed to their religion for sure.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be embarrassed. But also, where are you saying this? Are you saying this when people are taking tequila shots? Not the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also commit. If now you've committed to like this is the what you want people to know you for, it's like I'm this is who I am. Then now you just have to commit and like whatever people say, leave your bus.
Yeah, people, we should not be embarrassed. Someone said trigger warning, saying how much some dads are super supportive. Why should you be embarrassed about that? Trigger warning. Was that for us? Was that for?
Oh.
Was a trigger warning for
was
us?
For me and you.
Damn.
Thank you.
Wow, you should not. But I know for sure there's a thing that I feel sometimes having a parent who's really supportive. Like it's other people who hate on you. It's other people who judge the shit out of you. So you see people who have like parents who can do so much for them, they're not saying that shit. They're not, because it's like, no, we don't want this because there's just too much. It's just like the coming from poverty thing. Like there's that unfairness of like someone seeing like, you have a parent who can do all of this for you and I don't. That really triggers a lot in people. So me, I don't need to publicize it. Who needs to know?
Yeah. But
I'm not embarrassed. It's just that I know what it does to people.
Yeah, exactly. But I always find it interesting, and maybe I'm saying this from a point of privilege, but I always find it interesting that people who are in let's say are not experiencing the positivity that you're experiencing in a certain relationship with someone always feel the need to say it at the time at which you're talking about the positive thing you're going through. For example, every time like I'll have a picture, let's say with my sisters, there'll be like so many messages about like someone saying, oh, I wish me and my sister were together, I wish my sister, whatever. So it's always like in response to that. It's like, and I know maybe it's like the pain demands to be felt, and like I guess when they see now and I guess the same thing, because like me, when I see other people with their dads, I do feel like, oh wow, but I don't like say it.
Wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't like
message
be like, oh, this is so nice, wow, wish my dad could pick me up from school.
I find that so. Thank you so much for
I
bringing
don't
that
know.
up. I find it so interesting. This of course happens a lot with my relationship with my mom, with my especially grandparents.
Oh yeah.
There's no way I don't post my grandparents and someone doesn't be like, oh my god, yeah, Even me, my
I
shosho
wish,
died.
yeah.
Now we are talking about the fact that you lost your grandma. And I get it. I
Yeah.
really get it. But in this moment, in this very moment,
it's always in that
it's
moment.
so
But I guess
interesting.
it's because now that's the moment that now you've triggered them
Yeah.
to be able. But now are we going to be putting trigger warnings before everything? Trigger warning, food. Trigger warning, picture with sisters. Trigger warning, talking about alcoholism. Trigger warning, talking like no. I
Even the
mean,
positive
even the
triggers.
positive things, because
Yeah.
now that's the one which triggers. And sometimes I really find it difficult to like how to respond. Obviously, I respond with empathy, just like, oh yeah, so sad.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
But then now it's like this is a whole different thing now.
Yeah,
It is.
it's kind of
Yeah.
But anyway, tumezoea hizo.
Def.
Okay, last one I'm going to say, we should not be embarrassed about changing an opinion we were loud about.
I first of all, in this podcast, I have changed my mind every fucking day. What I said yesterday, last episode, that wasn't me.
Don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I'll never forget the time on Instagram that I posted something about like there's some a brand called Cinnabar, and they have these really strong smelling like shower gels. And when I was pregnant with Tana, I remember I had gone to like some, I think it was a resort in Nanyuki, and I had posted just been like, oh, I really don't like the smell of these. Yuck, I really don't like them. 3 years later, I think it was like 2022, I posted a picture. I didn't even remember I had posted that of like, oh, why there? I was just like, wow, these things smell great. Of course, I'm not pregnant now, and it's just like now they smell really nice. How was I on a blogger's page? Now, like, here is a screenshot of Murugi saying that she didn't even like those products back then. Someone had a screenshot from 3 years prior. Someone had a screenshot from 2019. From 2019.
Hey,
and
so
the
this
exact.
is insane. This is insane.
I was actually like, if you don't recognize that that is a mental illness,
I think we have a problem.
it is crazy.
No.
And now there was just like, you see these influencers, they just don't even ever trust their word, because like, look, she had said we don't buy. Now look, oh my gosh, she's even saying that she likes them. This one, she must have been paid. I wasn't even being paid. I had never been paid to talk about these people. I had literally just found them in a hotel. But I was like, no, I like them. Then I didn't like them. Now I like them.
And that's it.
And that's literally it. Like there's nothing. By the me, no one can tell me to anything. As a woman, I reserve the right to change my mind whenever. Also, we are constantly learning. Like since I got into therapy, there are so many things I have changed my mind about. There are so many things that I'm just like, actually, that was a dumb way of thinking.
Yeah.
And now I am a different person, and I believe other things, and I'm allowed to.
Exactly. And actually it's evidence of evolution. It's
Yeah.
evidence that you are not staying the same. So my opinions last month need to be my opinions this month. I don't bloody think so, because you don't know what I've faced this month.
Thank you.
You don't know what I've been through this month.
And I just feel like sometimes it's just like an opportunity to bash influencers or content creators.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you said that other one was the best edges gel you have ever tried. I'm like, yeah, but now I hadn't tried this one.
And
now
I
think
have,
this one
and
is.
I think this is the best one.
That's it.
Yeah.
Done.
Crazy.
Thank you.
This is someone, let's see if Therapy Joe's gonna be so in her chair now. We should stop being embarrassed about crying in public. What do you think,
Has
TJ?
someone actually written that, or are you oh,
What do you think, TJ? TJ is Therapy Joe.
I agree, people should not be embarrassed about crying in public.
It's clenched, guys.
This is what I feel about crying in public. So this was coming from like the church that I go to. Our pastor, he's like a super old, not super old. He's like an older white gentleman, right? And he preaches very passionately, extremely passionately.
Love that.
Almost too passionately, because every single time he preaches, there must be a point where he's going to cry. And I'm sorry, I feel like when people start crying in public platforms, it needs to be in a tempered manner. It can't be. It shouldn't. Hey, wait.
The words.
Not the word shouldn't. Let me speak. Let me take personal responsibility. I feel like there's a possibility that it could make people, not just me, it could make others uncomfortable when someone is just crying in public. And then also it's like you could be like, oh, then it's like some tears have come out and you've wiped and it's kind of whatever. But now if you're like sobbing, and now we have all stopped, everything has stopped to let you cry.
TJ, is how other people feel more important than how you feel?
No.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
So then in the moment
Except
where
my
I have
kids.
been taken over by these emotions, I should be thinking about how you feel, about how I feel.
I feel like what the issue there is what level of emotional togetherness have you not been able to get to, that you are not able to process whatever that emotion is when you are alone,
And
or when you are with a loved one in a safe space.
but
Because
what
also
if,
the
what if
public
it's
is not
overcome?
a safe.
It's overcome. It's overcome me. Here we are crying. And also, who says that my bar is emotional togetherness? Mine is emotional
Mine is-
authenticity. Calling your therapist right now.
And why does
Do your
emotional
fucking
authenticity
job.
Why does emotional authenticity have to involve crying?
It doesn't have to, but maybe that is what I define mine.
Yeah, but also for me, it's like the first time, let's say it happens to somebody once, it's like I can get it. Like, yeah, this is something which is like super emotional. But if it's like we have come to know that in every TMI episode, we need to give at least 5 to 6 minutes for Lydia to break down and cry. There's
So,
an issue.
100%. I
Thank you.
completely agree with you.
That's what I mean.
The balance of like, this is the standard of life that is like, we need some work. We need to get you the support that you need to help you emotionally regulate, and not because necessarily
That's the
that
word,
you're crying
emotionally
in public.
regulate.
It's not necessarily you're crying in public. It's because you're crying. Even
really?
if it's no, even
Because
if it's,
I support crying.
No, but every single day, if there's something that's overcoming you, or you're not able to, I think that's something that I would personally address if that was me. If I'm crying every single day, whether it's whatever is happening, even when there's nothing inconvenient, there's something that's bringing me to tears. I want to know why. And if we find out and we investigate, and we find out that it's because this is how I'm wired, then fine. Like, for example, my late Guka used to cry all the time. When he's happy, he used to cry all the time. But it wasn't a cry that was bad. It was just like, that's how he was. And he's been like that since he was a young boy. When he's happy, he'll cry. And so now we just kind of got used to that. So now we know that's who he is. Because he just cries when he's happy.
It's even worse when it's a man.
No, I thought it was the most endearing thing.
But also, was it the kind of crying of like...
No, it's just like tears are falling from him, from his eyes. Like he's really overcome.
So you would be
joy.
okay with that, if your man being that way?
Thank you so much for asking this, guys. There's something I'm being serious about now. I fully support healthy masculinity in whichever form it takes, including if it's my man. I decided that yesterday. I was like, I don't know if I am actually creating the world that I want to see, number one. Number two, the men who I really always admire, if like someone I'm talking to, by the way, I'm talking to a really healthy, masculine guy. Like
the one you matched with yesterday?
No.
Oh.
Sorry, another one. Catch up later.
It's so tough, man. It's tough being
Catch up
best
later.
friends with a data. God.
Catch up later, babe. More details to follow. But what I've realized is that if I consistently put this thing of like, not my man though, I'm denying myself of experiencing a man who has healthy masculinity. So I'm done with that.
And you know what I hope? I hope that the world, the universe sends you practicals.
Yeah.
Of
I
what
already
those
have
things
one.
are.
Oh,
yeah.
baby.
And
Oh.
you see, because some of this is, but I agree with you. It's like we shouldn't put now the limits of like, no, but I can't with this kind of person. But I also need for one to be able to like physically experience it so that you can be comfortable knowing that we can't go to a bar with like Joe and her husband and this other person, their husband, and my man has broken down and he's crying and I'm comfortable.
Yeah. Why is he crying? Because the same standard I set for myself, like, okay, I'm crying, but what's happening?
Yeah, what's going on?
What's going on?
He's just really happy.
But is this a sobbing of like...
Yeah.
No, I think
so
it's...
happy.
You know what's it? Remember Nani? What's her name? The first Love is Blind couple.
Lauren,
yeah. He's a crier. The second he takes a mic to talk about her, weeps. I think that's cute. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but anyway, for me, it's just like, it just can't be like something which is also sometimes I struggle to, and maybe this is for me in terms of a perception issue for me, I struggle to be able to distinguish what seems performative or what comes across performative to me, especially if it's on social media, versus what is genuinely authentic. Because there are sometimes like when, for example, if a preacher, I'm not saying my preacher, but like if certain preachers start to cry, I'm just like, are you actually overcome with like that emotion right now, or is it more like to just put the point across? And it's like, is it that you want more views on that thing? Is it that you want more people to be like, oh wow, it really means so much to her, or it really means so much to him that you're crying, or what? But again, maybe that's also something that I need to address in therapy.
Yeah.
You know, to be like,
So let
why
me
do I not
validate
trust?
you.
Why do I not trust sometimes other people's the emotions that I'm seeing from someone else? Sometimes I don't trust that emotion.
So first of all, I validate you because this is not a viewpoint that only you hold. I feel
you.
like you are actually the majority.
Thank you.
That's why somebody said, let's stop being embarrassed about it, because almost everyone probably feels a different way. What I feel is like whatever we feel about other people's emotions is about how we are with ours. So I know for sure a lot of this is more of a projection, or even how you feel when you cry.
Yeah.
I've seen literally how you go into yourself like you're going to die
I hate
when you cry.
hate that I'm
And it's
crying
like it was
it's
a good
it's
reason.
horrible. Yeah.
And I really feel like, oh my God, I don't even want her to see her crying. But instead
Which
of
is
consulting
true,
you,
yes. It's like I don't
because
know.
I know this is like her worst nightmare for me.
And
to
that
see her
comes
cry.
from I
Me
don't
who
want
cries
it to
anytime.
now you see I don't want to feel like you having the burden of comforting me. That makes me uncomfortable.
But why do you see that as a burden?
Because it's just like, no.
Why is it a burden instead of like, I'm just being here with you as you process this, baby?
I'm not a
And
child.
literally what had happened was like so serious. Like
Yeah.
it was like reason to cry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Only children deserve comfort when they are being upset.
It just feels, I don't know, it just feels to me like crying is like, to me it's like this is how adults deal with things. Crying to me is like you've been unable to deal with the things that you have needed to deal with, and so that's why now your body or yourself has now resorted to crying, you see. Or maybe for me it's only that now I only cry when now it's like the thing
The
is
world
really
is over.
that's it. You
That's
see,
why.
and even like you see when you have a fight with your man, like sometimes by the time at the point at which I'm crying now, I'm just like, as in, and I'm not proud of that version of me, the version who's crying, because just kind of like, have you tried the talking? Why how have you allowed yourself to like get that so emotionally high strung that you have to cry? Do you
But
see?
it's a release. Actually, it helps you to be able to handle things. Like this is the same way, like when, you know, that expression of crying helps you release to be able to handle more. And you're allowed to get emotionally high strung because you're interacting with things that make you emotionally high strung.
In public.
Sometimes it's going to be in public. Sometimes it's going to be in public. You get bad news on the phone. I'm here. I'm in this matatu with all of you. And it's go time. It is go time. It is go time.
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Johnny, rub my back.
Yeah,
Rub my
please,
back because this is happening.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Because it's like that release is needed to keep me like mentally and emotionally like more still. In fact, the holding, not crying, is what means that chances are I'm going to suppress. Then by the next time, it's not just crying. Now I've cried and I've made you cry because I need to do it. Because emotions need to be felt. It's not just pain.
But there's a level of intensity of emotions that I feel like are private emotions. For example, intense pleasure. Intense pleasure is a feeling that you only experience. You would not be experiencing an orgasm in public, right?
Yeah.
To me, crying is like, it's intense.
Orgasm.
Because you said it's a release. Is it not a release? Is an orgasm not a release?
It is.
Exactly.
But one is like
So
controlled.
this is
The other one isn't.
sadness. You need to pause that sadness in that moment, in that matatu, until you get home, so that you can, But definitely, I'm not defending my position.
But I know this is your position.
It's
I
just
get
like,
it.
I feel
this
like
is how a lot of people feel. They feel like this is too much. Like, why are you now bringing me into your emotional world when I don't even know you?
Yeah.
Like, this is really uncomfortable for me. I get that, but no.
So how
If
do you feel
I
about
feel like I need to cry, it doesn't matter where I am. I don't even say sorry. Also, stop apologizing for crying. Stop.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I said I wasn't gonna cry. You're here crying now, so just cry. Like, literally, if I need to cry, I'm crying. That's it. Only because, number one, I know that this is like like it's a time. This is not a daily occurrence.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cry because whatever my body needs in that moment and that I need to release is gonna help me maybe navigate a bit better.
Why do people then get so much hate for crying on social media? Because
Why
no one
do you
gets
give them
hate.
so much hate?
I don't, by the way. Me, I just observe and I'm just like, oh, that's an interesting choice that you decided to put that in there. But whenever you go in the comments of the people who are super like crying, because they're just like, oh, so you're crying and you decided to pick up the camera. But yet, when somebody expresses intense joy or like, oh my God, I'm so happy, I'm having a baby, everyone is like, oh, yay, that's so cool. It makes sense that you'd record that. But the negative emotions are not given the time of day. And maybe it's that concept that maybe has been ingrained in me, which has made me feel like, no, it's actually not okay to cry in public.
That energy is part because we are living in a world full of people who are disconnected with their own emotion. So how dare you access and express yourself in this way that probably I don't have the capacity to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Lydia, you can cry
Oh yeah, I cry.
with me.
Me, I've cried here.
Oh yeah, by the way.
Yeah, I've
but it
cried
was
here on
brief.
TMI. It was brief,
and
yeah.
it's,
But it's like if I
finished.
feel like crying in that moment, then I'm going to cry. But sometimes now it's like some things I see, like there's something that had happened like not too long ago that I'm never gonna talk about that in public because there's no way I don't cry. There's no way.
Just tell us.
There's no way. I already feel like crying and haven't even mentioned it. I haven't even mentioned
Oh, she's now balancing tears, but we can't
No.
accept. We have to end the podcast right now so that Lydia can, in fact, cry. But I know those things where it's just like,
No, we're not going there.
okay, fine. We'll talk about it after this. But wow, what an episode, guys! We even
That was
had
a really
like,
good
I feel like I
one.
had so many more, but I feel like those are the key ones.
Yeah, those
the
ones are
core
really
ones.
meaty ones.
Also, can we? Let me just tell people, embarrassment, by the way, is not. It's not a tangible thing.
It's not real.
Like embarrassment is not real. It's literally
Yeah.
just us who just decide that we're embarrassed. You can actually decide to not be embarrassed about anything. You can just decide. Especially it's like obviously it's not something you're intending to for something to happen. It's just like, oh, this has happened.
Done.
Yeah, and I would say that 90% of the time, the people around you are going to take the energy that you feed off. In fact, if you start laughing at yourself for like something which has happened, people will probably be like, oh yeah, crazy, whatever, and move on.
Sorry, I just remembered a story.
Yeah.
A girl was crying on a lift when we were getting out of a club. And so like now she was trying to face the wall of the
The back of the lift.
yeah, so that she cries. I felt so sorry for her. I did wrap her back and I told her that it's going to be okay. And then I went.
But it might not be
I
okay.
don't know, but that's all I had to do. Since you've
That's
cried in front
really
of me,
nice,
now you've
yeah.
invited me to this. So now I'm at this party and I need to comfort you.
Right.
That was terrible. It was really sad. But
Me,
anyway,
I feel like if I'm crying in public, I want to just be left alone. That's the best thing someone
I
can
think that's
do.
a good
Yeah.
thing as well. But then you don't know, like, and it feels
That's
so
it,
weird
yeah.
to literally see someone cry and just be like, tough luck, mate. And maybe they were on their way to like end it all. No, I want you to
Right,
know
yeah.
that somebody cared.
Yeah.
If you
Even
didn't want
just
it,
that
that's
1
fine.
minute, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
So
true.
anyway, that was weird.
Damn.
Guys, don't be embarrassed. I feel like the older I get, for sure, the more I see how we're gonna do the
Yeah.
episode.
Actually, the more
The more I, because we said the less I.
Yes.
We're gonna do that episode, but I just feel like less and less about giving a shit about how I'm perceived publicly, like what someone else is going to think about how I'm experiencing life.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I feel that way.
Yeah, I too, honestly. So at some point, no, it's just like, now, what can we do about it? That's why you see all these old shows who go around, they fart, they don't even care. They're just like, this is just the way things
You're
are.
gonna be that show.
Oh,
for
I can't.
sure. Especially with the farting.
I cannot wait to be in my shosho era. My grandkids walk through the door. That's it. That's gonna be me. That's literally
That's
gonna
you.
be.
That's your host,
You're
ladies
gonna
and
be the one
gentlemen.
crying. So
What?
her
Yeah.
grandkids
Oh
walk
my
through the
God,
door.
yeah.
Ah, I can't believe I'm
my
seeing you.
God, oh
You saw
my
me yesterday,
God.
shosho.
Listen, I'm overcome by emotion. This is what we are doing. Yeah, my kids are gonna have a time, aren't they?
I really just can't wait. Anyway, guys, let us know in the comments below what you think about these things that people should not be embarrassed about. Are we gonna do one push things people should be embarrassed about? Do we have enough material for that?
We'll think about.
We'll
we
think
have.
about it, exactly,
Yeah.
definitely. But tell us what you think about these ones. Add more of what other things that you guys think that people should not be embarrassed about. And we will see you or talk to you in our next episode.
Bye.